and welcome to another episode. In today's episode, I am going to be explaining what is the window in JavaScript and also something called alert. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. And if you want to get notified every time that I upload a new video, you can hit that ring bell. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, everybody, so to get started in today's episode, I need you to open MDN. As well, I am going to put on the search box right here just the word window. If you type in just the word window, then you're going to get the first article, which it says Web API window. So you can select that one. And also I have opened the same document that we have been coding so far. And of course, my Visual Studio Code right here. Okay, so let's start first by explaining what is the window in JavaScript. So let's read here a little bit in MDM. It says the window interface, so it's an interface. It represents a window containing a DOM, which is, as you already know, the HTML document that gets converted into an object so that we can manipulate it with JavaScript. And then the document property points to the DOM document loaded in that window. So with this portion of concept, we can say that a window is this portion right here, okay? This is the window. We can say that this is a window right here, okay? So we have already the concept of a window, and in simple and human terms, we can say that the window is the window of the web browser. Okay, that's what it's known as a window in JavaScript. Now, it's important for you to know this because the window, it has couple of functions that we can access to and things that we can do within the DOM. Okay, so now I want you to search for something that it's called alert. Okay, so we are going to type in here in the search box alert. Okay, and it should be like this, alert method. Okay, so we are going to click on it and we are going to read a little bit here first. So it says here window.alert and then parentheses because it's a method. It instructs the browser to display a dialog with an optional message and to wait until the user dismisses the dialog, right? Under some conditions, for example, when the user switches tabs, the browser may not actually display a dialog or may not wait for the user to dismiss the dialog, right? But here's the syntax pretty much in how this will look like. It'll say alert, and then in parentheses, you can put the messages that you want it, to have, right? So here you have the parameters, which again, it could be a message that you could type in here. So you can say here something like window.alert hello world, and then the window should return back like a pop-up with the with what you wrote in the parentheses. So like hello world, right? Or just simply alert hello world, and then either example will give you this outcome. So it's important for you to know this because sometimes, when you are in a web browser and let's say that a user does something in your website and you want to make sure that if they are, if they are probably okay to do that, right? Then you probably want to give them some kind of alert or something. Let's say that they are changing something important in a website, then you're going to display maybe an alert saying, hey, you just changed something very important. Okay, and then they will have the okay option there, just so that you can, give them a reminder, right? So let me show you how this works so that you can just have an understanding of this. And then in later episodes, we're going to be playing around with this a little bit more, okay? So going back to our document, let's open up Visual Studio Code, and we are going to go back to JavaScript. Now here, we're only going to type in alert, okay? Or let's just use a window since you already know what the window is. So window.alert, and then in parentheses here we want to say I did it. I am using an alert. I am using an alert. Okay, something like that. Okay, so I am going to save this, and now going back to our code, let's hit refresh and check out what's going to happen. There you go. So it says now hey, I did it. I am using an alert. You see? Okay, so then all you have to do is just hit OK now in here. And there you go. Okay, so that's how it works. You can even hit refresh and you will get the message again saying this page is saying I did it. I am using an alert. So that's how alerts work. It's really simple. There's really nothing complex about it. If you want to alert something, you will simply use the alert so that they can get this pop-up, and then as soon as they hit OK, then they will get into your web page, right? Or whatever the case might be. Now there is something that I want to show you, and since you already know a little bit more about functions, if statements, and all of that, let's code something real quick into our code so that you can understand this a little bit better and see how all this works. Okay, so in our index file, I want to create let's create a paragraph. So let's create a paragraph, and to this paragraph I am going to give it an ID. And the ID, I want it to be and let's say my paragraph, and I am using a hyphen, by the way, because I already have my paragraph here on top. So I just want to use my paragraph like this, and then let's just use something and just say this is the original text of this paragraph. And then afterwards we're going to add an input. You already know how to add inputs in HTML, so I guess you're very familiar with it by now. If not, then just remember, go ahead and do a little bit of, a little bit of study on HTML so that you can remember, okay? Because we're going to add an input, and the type will be of text, so something is written in here. And then we're going to give it an ID to this input, and the ID is going to be, let's say, new content, okay? Because I want to give it a new content whenever we use this input. And then let's just add another button here. And then of course I'm going to add an ID to this button. And then we're going to just name this change button, because this button is going to change the text of the paragraph. That's what I am trying to do in here. And let me just give it a name of change, just to make things simple here. Okay, so let's just do change. And well, I think that with this, it's more than enough. Let's see how this looks like. Let's save it and let's hit refresh. Oh, okay. Let's remove the alert because it gets a little bit annoying. Okay, so let's hit save. Now let's hit refresh. Okay, there you go. So this is original text. So whenever we type something in here, what I want to do is that when I hit the button change, it changes the original text into something new. Okay, and let's go ahead and actually do that. And we are going to use the alert in some point of this code. That's why I am typing this in here. Okay. So going back to our code in here, let's start typing the script code for this. So the first thing that we are going to do is create a variable. So let's create a variable called button. Let me see if I don't have already a variable called button here. I already have one called heading, image, my button. Okay, so no, we don't have one called just button. So let's use a variable called button, and then we're going to equal this to document, right, dot get element by ID. There, get element by ID of I believe this one was change button, if I'm not mistaken, because we're going to select the button here. Yeah, there we go. So it's change button. So let's copy this and paste it in here. So we're going to change the button, and then we want to say button dot add event listener. Okay, and then the event listener will be on click. So whenever they click this event or this button, right, then they're going to use a function where I'm going to create a function for this, by the way, and this function is going to be called confirm change. Let's just call it like that, confirm change. And what this function is going to do, the function confirm change is going to do, is that I'm going to make it in a way that is going to change the content, right? That's what we wanted to happen when they click the button. So let's go ahead and let's create the function. So let's say function, and the function will be called confirm changed, and then obviously parentheses. Let's open brackets in here, and we're going to say let new content equal to document dot get element by ID. Okay, and then new And let's call this new content is what I want to call this. Let me just double check here. This should be new content. Yeah, this one right here. This is the ID that we want to select. Okay, so let's copy this one and paste it in here. Whoops, I erased the N. We gotta be careful there. If not, this is not going to work. Okay, so get element by ID of new content. And then we're going to add a value. Okay, so this should be enough. So what we're saying to this function is that we are creating a new variable named new content, and then this content is going to select the new content value. Okay, so whatever new content we put in this input, then that is exactly what is going to change to. Okay, and then what we want to do, and the reason I'm typing all this code is in order to use the alert again. So if the user confirmed the change, then we're going to update the content. Okay, so now what we're going to do is add an if statement. Okay, so if, and well, first let's create a variable name confirmed, and then this is going to equal to confirm, and then in parentheses we are going to say let's make this a string, and then let's say, are you sure you want to change the paragraph content to, and then let's add in here, and then let's add the addition, and then we're going to select the variable that we created, that it's called new content. There you go. So new content. Okay. Okay, there. Now, since I already added this variable, what we are going to do now is use an if statement. Okay. So if the user confirmed the change, we're going to update the paragraph content. So here we're going to say if confirmed. Okay, if confirmed. And then let's open brackets in here. So if this is confirmed, then we're going to alert changing, yeah, let's just say changing paragraph content to, and then let's just close the strings, and then let's just say new content variable right there. Okay. And then of course, what we're going to do now is create another variable named paragraph. And let me see if, okay, so this one, it's called new paragraph. I think we don't have one called paragraph. So we're going to have another variable called paragraph. And then we're going to equal this variable to document.getElement by ID. And then this is going to be the my paragraph. Okay, so let's go back in here. And let's make sure I type everything correctly. So the ID is going to be my paragraph, and just make sure that I set this up in quotes, because if not, it's not going to recognize it. Okay, so we're selecting my paragraph, and then what we want to say, it's something simple. Paragraph to the variable paragraph. Let's change the text content. The text content is going to equal new content. Okay. Something like that. Oops, and by the way, I didn't realize, but all this has to be inside of the if statement, right? So if this is confirmed, then we're going to alert changing paragraph content to whatever new content, and then the paragraph is going to be whatever the new content is. Okay, so I hope this is making sense, but take a look and see what's going to happen now. Let's hit save. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. So right now, if I type in something, let's say hello, this original text should change. So if I hit here change, oops. Okay, everybody, so something that I did forget is that the function itself in here is it's all this portion. It should be all this portion, and I did a quick mistake that I am realizing, and is that I closed the function after let new content equal the new content value, whatever. So let me just remove that that curly bracket from there, and then I'm going to add the curly bracket down in here, because this block of content is the function. Okay, this is the function that we are doing in order to make this button change. So let me just explain real quick here the function so that you can see what's going to happen. So first, we created a variable named button. Then this button is selecting the button right here, this button called change, right? Then we are adding an event listener to this button, which it says that when we click on it, is going to confirm the change. Now, the confirm the change is a function that we created. And this function, what it's doing is that it's creating, let me just indent everything here properly. So this function, what it's doing is that it's creating a new content, right? A new content for this original text. Is going to delete the old content and is going to create a new one. So it's selecting the new content, whatever we input in this box right here, right? Whatever value we input here, because it's selecting the new content value. And then if it's confirmed, so it's going to alert something that it's going to say, are you sure you want to change the paragraph, right? So that's why it's called confirm. We created a variable called confirm because this is going to equal something that will pop up saying, are you sure you want to change this paragraph content to whatever new content we input in there, right? So if, then we added an if statement in the same function. So if it is confirmed, then this is going to alert changing the paragraph content to whatever new content we wrote in here. And then let the paragraph equal document.getElement by ID of my paragraph. So this one right here, right? And then it's going to be changed to whatever new content we type in here. So I hope this is making sense. But if you have questions, just leave them in the comment section below and then I will reply as soon as I can. But let me just go ahead and show you how this will work. Let's hit refresh. I'm saving this out. Let me hit refresh. So if I type something in here, let's say I want to change this original text to hello, and I click the button change. Now this page is saying, are you sure you want to change the paragraph content to hello, which is what I typed in here. So if I hit cancel, it doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't change it. But if I click change again and it asks me, are you sure you want to do it? And I hit okay, then this page says we are changing the paragraph content to hello, okay? So then I hit okay, and now the content here has been changed to hello. Okay, so I know that the function right now, it should be something that you are completely able to understand by this time, because we have already covered everything that it was under that function to make this content change. But if you have questions, remember, just leave them in the comment section below and I can clarify any doubts you might have. But that's just one way that you're going to be using alerts, right? If you want to allow the user to confirm something and you want to tell them, hey, you know what, this is changing, then that's a great example of what an alert will be useful for. Okay, so that was it for this episode, everybody. I hope that you have learned a lot today. And well, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. And if you want to get notified every time that I am uploading a new video, you can go ahead and click that ring bell, because that way you will get a notification every time that I do so. Okay? And remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye, everyone, and see you again in the next episode.